two things that stick with me that Alex said were, like most CEOs that we've had on this show, you ask about a number, it doesn't take long for them to come out with a number. It's how you guys think. What do you define success? 100,000 users.
Absolutely.
He knew a number right off the bat.
And he's got absolute focus, right? I mean, I know where I need to get to. I'm not questioning at all what my aim is. That's my aim.
And the other thing he talked about was positioning. What I heard him say at the end is he's got himself positioned in the weeds. He's letting it, play itself out right now. Obviously, when we find where the fish are biting, or in his words, when the tornado comes through, he's in a position now to capitalize on that situation.
Well, and it's great because you sit home, there's a lot of people who say, I see an opportunity, I don't know what to do with it. This is what to do with it. You grab hold of, keep your business, keep the core business doing what it's doing, and then launch. Put a toe in the water, put a foot in the water, set yourself a target. He said a target. If I can't get picked up by Mashable or TechCrunch, it's not worth doing. So let's set the target, and then let's see if we can hit that target, and then that target will allow me to propel forward and hit my goal. I see it very quickly.
All right, let's finish with two things that we brought up off the top. That's platform as a service and the cloud and the crowd. Let's talk about the cloud and the crowd first. The cloud and the crowd, what did you learn from this conversation from him that you think he's got himself positioned? What does he have to watch out for? Because everybody wants the crowd, they want the advocates, and everybody wants to be in the cloud. Why is he heading in the right direction in your opinion?
Because what he's done is he's come up with a good crowdsourcing model. See, the whole thing is a lot of people say crowdsourcing, yeah, let's do it, or crowdfunding, or crowd whatever.
Yeah, until they find out they throw themselves to the crowd,
whereas he
and the
said,
crowd
okay,
criticizes
here's the
them.
model, and he's thought through the model very well. I'll take one document, don't send the whole document, send pieces of it. I'll then send those pieces off, and then it'll come back and let people vote. So there's an entire model built to this crowd thing that's very clean and simple. And what it does is it has several levels of reinforcement to it. So you want to be elevated, you want to get +1s, you want to be promoted, you want to be seen as successful. So you want to give, and you want to give from the other side. So it's no longer just an ask for a favor or throw it out there, or if I had critical mass, then it would be worth it. It's worth it from day one. One document sent to a number of people, voted on, in and of itself shows value. So he's able to demonstrate value from day one and then grow that value going forward.
And everybody says two things over everything else, I think, in business these days. You need to be mobile and you need to be in the cloud. But when you look at the cloud point of all of this and the translation business, how's that working for him in your opinion?
Well, because it opens the doors. It opens the doors to be global. It opens the doors for you as a small niche organization to actually be a large global player. And this is the type of thing that you can build an entire presence right away, and then all of a sudden you take the world by storm. It's, look at what happened with Pinterest, right? Nobody knew about it, now all of a sudden everybody's talking about it. They took the world by storm because they had the right model. This is a model that has the opportunity to grow exponentially, and yet it's valuable on day one, and it's even more valuable on day 2 and day 3 and day 4 and day 5. But there's value. All the value quotient has been identified and solved all the way through.
All right, now final point, let's talk about platform as a service. You've been in business for over 20 years. The Pulse Network now is several businesses together branded under one thing. You've been in that position. You've experienced that shift, the good and the bad of it. The growing pains of trying to get to a platform business because you know that's scalable. You know that's where you want to be in a position. In general, a platform as a service, what are some of the pain things you go through as a CEO that you have to have the patience to live for?
The shift from a pure services play to a platform as a service play is not always easy. The risks, the risk reward quotient is very high. The value opportunity is very high. Oftentimes what you do is you end up embedding things that you think are worth it that aren't, and clients aren't seeing. So you need to see what the client says in order to understand the value. And then making that true pivot and coming all the way through, and then understanding that at some point your services model as to what you used to do becomes very, not distant, but different, and figuring out how to capture it. That's the key. But once you lock in that platform and being true to your word and true to your platform, that's where the key is. That's where the exponential opportunity
Where
is.
I think Alex and Translation Services USA are positioned so well is the goodwill and the business that he's built up over 10 years with a network of 10,000 translators and outsourced mostly. They're not all full-time employees of his, but he's built up this network of people. He's now going into the cloud and providing an education service. So while Ackuna is sitting there in the weeds, so to speak, or waiting for the tornado, he's in a great position to explode. He's not relying completely on the platform right yet. He's still using the services company to
He hasn't
pay the
hurt his
bills.
business. The core
Right.
business is what it is, and this is the opportunity to explode. And the momentum will build upon momentum. That's the beauty of it.